Namaskar, dear students. I am Dr. Mamani Kalita, Associate Professor, Department of Philosophy, Dispur College. Today I will discuss about categorical syllogism. This topic comes under BA First Sem Honors, Philosophy Honors under Gauhati University. The name of the paper is Logic, paper code is 1026. Before we discuss, we should know about deductive logic and inductive logic. Traditional logic or Aristotelian logic is generally divided into two. One is deductive logic and another is inductive logic. Deductive logic is a mental process of inference in which the conclusion is less general than the premises. For example, all men are mortal, Ram is a man, therefore Ram is mortal. On the other hand, inductive logic is a mental process in which the conclusion is more general than the premises. For example, Ram is mortal, Hori is mortal, Jodu is mortal, therefore all men are mortal. Now, categorical syllogism. A syllogism is a form of mediate deductive inference in which the conclusion necessarily follows from the premises taken jointly. For example, all men are mortal, Ram is a man, therefore Ram is mortal. Now, characteristics of syllogism. Syllogism is a form of deductive inference, so its conclusion cannot be more general than the premises. Secondly, syllogism is a form of mediate deductive inference. Deductive inference is of two kinds, mediate inference and immediate inference. In mediate inference, the conclusion is drawn from more than one premise. On the other hand, in immediate inference, the conclusion is drawn from only one premise. The conclusion of a syllogism must be drawn from two premises taken jointly and not separately. Lastly, the truth of the conclusion depends on the truth of the premises. Now, classification of syllogism. Syllogism is divided into two types, pure syllogism and mixed syllogism. Pure syllogism. If all the propositions of a syllogism are of the same relation, then it is called pure syllogism. Pure syllogism is of three kinds, that is categorical, hypothetical, and disjunctive. Mixed syllogism. If the proposition of a syllogism are of different relation, then it is called mixed syllogism. Mixed syllogism is of three kinds, that is hypothetical categorical syllogism, disjunctive categorical syllogism, and dilemma. Now, definitions. Definitions of pure categorical syllogism. If all the constituent propositions are categorical, then it is known as pure categorical syllogism. Pure disjunctive syllogism. If all the constituent propositions are disjunctive, then it is known as pure disjunctive syllogism. Then hypothetical categorical syllogism. Here the major premise is hypothetical, the minor premise is categorical, and the conclusion is categorical. Disjunctive categorical syllogism. Here the major premise is disjunctive, the minor premise is categorical, and the conclusion is categorical. Dilemma. Here the major premise is a compound hypothetical, the minor premise is disjunctive, and the conclusion is either categorical or disjunctive. Now, there are some general rules of categorical syllogism. We should discuss it. There are 10 general rules of categorical syllogism. Number 1, a syllogism must contain 3 and only 3 propositions. Number 2, a syllogism must contain 3 and only 3 terms. Number 3, the middle terms must be distributed at least once in the premises. No term can be distributed in the conclusion unless it is undistributed in the premises. Number 5, if both the premises are affirmative, the conclusion must be affirmative. Number 6, if one of the premises is negative, the conclusion must be negative. Number 7, if one of the premises is particular, the conclusion must be particular. From two negative premises, no conclusion can be drawn. Number 9, from two particular premises, no conclusion can be drawn. Number 10, from a particular major premise and a negative minor premise, no conclusion can be drawn. There are 3 terms of a syllogism. One is major term, another is minor term, and the third one is middle term. Now, the definitions of major term. The predicate term of the conclusion of a syllogism is known as the major term. The subject term of the conclusion of a syllogism is known as minor term, and the terms which is present in both of the premises but absent in the conclusion is known as the middle term. The middle term plays a very important role in syllogism. It is the middle terms which connects the major premise and the minor premise. There are two premises and one conclusion in a categorical syllogism. The two premises are major premise and minor premise, and the third one is conclusion. Major premise is the premise where major term is present and connected with the middle term. Minor premise is the premise where minor term is present and connected with the middle term. And the conclusion of a syllogism follows from the two premises taken jointly. In syllogism, the middle term is abbreviated as M, minor term as S, and major term as P. Now, figure of syllogism. Figure is the form of syllogism which is determined by the position of the middle term in the premises. There are four kinds of the figure of syllogism. They are first figure, second figure, third figure, and fourth figure. In the first figure, the middle term is the subject in the major premise and the predicate in the minor premise. In the second figure, the middle term is the predicate in both the premises. In the third figure, the middle term is the subject in both the premises. In the fourth figure, the middle term is the predicate in the major premise and the subject in the minor premise. Now, moods of syllogism. Mood is the form of a syllogism which is determined by the quality and quantity of the constituent premises. In the four figures of syllogism, there are altogether 19 valid moods. For example, in the first figure, we have 4 valid moods. In the second figure, we have 4 valid moods. In the third figure, we have 6 valid moods, and in the fourth figure, we have 5 valid moods. The valid moods of first figure are Barbara, Silaran, Derii, and Ferio. The valid moods of second figure are Cesare, Chemistris, Festino, Borocco. The valid moods of third figure are Darabti, Disamis, Detisi, Felapton, Bocardo, and Ferison. The valid moods of fourth figure are Bramantiv, Cheminis, Dimaris, Fesapo, Fresison. Now, the fallacies of syllogism. Already we have discussed about the 10 general rules of syllogism. The violation of the general rules of syllogism lead to the fallacies of syllogism. Some famous fallacies of syllogism are fallacy of 4 terms. For example, man is the creator of sin, God is the creator of man, therefore God is the creator of sin. In this example, we have 4 terms, that is God, creator of sin, creator of man, and man. But according to one of the rules of syllogism, every syllogism must have only 3 terms. So it involves the fallacy of 4 terms. Fallacy of undistributed middle. Another important fallacy is the fallacy of undistributed middle. The middle terms must be distributed at least once in both of the premises. If the middle term is not distributed at least once in both of the premises, no bond or relation can be established between the major term and the minor term in the conclusion. For example, all men are mortal, all birds are mortal. It cannot lead to any conclusion. Violation of this rule will lead to the fallacy of undistributed middle. If a term has more than one meaning, we commit the fallacy of equivocation or fallacy of ambiguity. The major term may be ambiguous, leading to the fallacy of ambiguous major. For example, light is essential in the dark, cotton is not essential in the dark, therefore cotton is not light. Then fallacy of ambiguous minor. For example, water is liquid matter, water is life, therefore life is liquid matter. Then fallacy of ambiguous middle. For example, all coal is dispelled by heat, his element is coal, therefore his element can be dispelled by heat. Fallacy of illicit measure. If the major term is distributed in the conclusion without being distributed in the major premise, then it is called the fallacy of illicit measure. For example, all men are animals, no dogs are men, therefore no dogs are animals. Fallacy of illicit minor. For example, no dogs are birds, all dogs are animals, therefore no dogs are birds. Thank you.